You mentioned in the report that you don't really track subleased space because it's hard to track.
It's hard to accurately track.
Correct.
Not all landlords report their vacant sublease space. Some do. You know, as the term gets shorter, landlords may start reporting it because they want people to know. But what we've been able to discern is there's probably another 450,000 square feet of space not included in our vacancy, which would actually bump the overall vacancy rate up closer to 19.5%, 20% versus 16.5%. You know, there's one big sublease potential space at the Central Park buildings where Williams vacated a couple 100,000 square feet. That's the most significant one. A lot of it's just bits and pieces here and there.
But say the 10s or the 20s, or is that too big? The 5s or the 10s, 5,000 or 10,000. What kind of users looking for that? What's the incentive for me to go for a sublease as opposed to a full lease?
Well, our company's a perfect example. You're sitting in space we subleased from WPX Energy. We moved into this space a year ago because they had more than 2 years left on their lease. We didn't want to go through a renovation. Their layout closely mimicked our layout, but it had a more modern finish, which we were going to have to renovate and live through on our other floor. Plus, we acquired all their furniture for $10. I mean, basically, they gave us the furniture and the phone system. So if you can adapt to the space you're moving to and don't require a lot of tenant finish, a sublease can be a great deal. Typically, subleases don't have enough term left on them, or often they don't, to really be worthwhile to a tenant coming in. That you don't get a big enough break for a long enough time. And if you come to that space, you need to be able to pay the going rate in the building, because at some point you have to deal with the landlord.
Is a start more likely to go for a sublease?
They can be, yeah, for sure.
It would make sense to me.
You see a lot of startups look for a small sublease space because they can get a 25 to 30% discount on the space. A lot of times it does include the FF&E, which is huge for a startup company.
And they're hoping they're going to need to expand anyway, maybe
Absolutely.
before a long lease is up. So it's a gamble, but it makes sense, doesn't it?
They can afford to be flexible, absolutely.